Who is the odds-on favorite to win the National League Central? Will it be our Chicago Cubs? Find out next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Let us know in the comment section, who is the NL Central favorite for 2024. Today's episode is presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Different ways to approach this, because typically the way this goes is who is the NL Central favorite right now. However, you could easily edit that to who is the favorite after the Cubs, or really any team in this division, are finished making moves. Sam, how are you approaching this right now as we review the odds for the division?
I think a little bit of both. I think it's right now with an eye towards what's happening, because I know we're about to drop the FanDuel odds, and I know other books are pretty close. I mean, it really just depends. How confident are you that the Cubs still have one big move in them, and how confident are you that the other teams don't? So I think it's a little bit of both. I think when odds are out, the books have to do a good job of projecting and saving themselves, from getting bet on and then having to flip odds. So I think it's a little bit of both. Where you're at right now, but knowing, where you're going to go.
FanDuel odds as of recording time. Here we go. Cardinals plus 160, Cubs plus 210, Reds plus 370, Brewers plus 500, and Pirates plus 2,500. First impressions right there.
Yeah, and I've been looking at the odds daily now for about 10 days.
Wow.
And FanDuel, FanDuel has that, and some other places have the Cubs slightly favored. I think it's pretty close between the Cubs and Cardinals, give or take right now, and I think that's about right. I think once the Cubs land Cody Bellinger, I think it'll fall right there. The goal at this point in the offseason was for the Cubs to be probably about a minus favorite in the division and to have everybody else be in the plus 200 range, and they failed. They failed that goal. There's no question about that. There's no beating around that bush either. But I still do think the Cubs have a really good chance to win the division. My odds, I would lean more towards like Cubs plus 185 and St. Louis plus 185. I think it's about a coin flip. I think the best value there would be the Brewers at plus 500. That gives me a lot of comfort that they're that far down. Maybe Vegas thinks that, they're possibly just going to, sell off at some point. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Right.
But that's really nice to see that they're that far down, because they still concern me. Cincinnati will be a team. Cincinnati's a really interesting team, because I think they take they move into a direction one way or another this year. If McLean hits and De La Cruz hits and their new additions with their young guys all pitched together, they could be an absolute juggernaut in this division, and they could run away with it. Mm-hmm. However, the league could adjust to some of their offensive guys. They already did to De La Cruz. McLean isn't the guy you thought he was. De La Cruz isn't the guy you thought he was. And you look up and they're 30 and 41. I think they're the team in the division, I think, that has the greatest variance. If you told me they were a 90-win team, I'm not falling off my chair. And if you told me they were an 85 to close to a 90-loss team, I wouldn't go, no way. So they're a more variance ball club. St. Louis, I think, for the second straight year, even though they finished dead last, I would say has the most raw talent on the team in the division. So we'll see with them. And then our team, the Chicago Cubs, I think compared to the rest of the division, I would say I think the Cubs probably have the highest floor Like I don't see this team with this manager and this depth stink like being terrible. I just don't.
Correct.
But I'm not sure how high the ceiling is, and that's probably still a little bit TBD with all the moves they have to make, and of course, these young guys coming up. But that's how I'd probably break it down. I think the Cubs have a pretty high floor. I think they'll be fine. Cincinnati, I don't know what you're going to get. Milwaukee, I'm surprised they're down that low. St. Louis has the most talent. I said I think Pittsburgh will be better than one of those teams. Said that on yesterday's program. I toss it over to you.
Well, a little bit of history here. We did an episode just like this 1 year ago, and the Cardinals were minus 115. Plus 160 right now, Cubs plus at 210. I think that's right. I understand some of the clutterness of the division and the top three, or really top four, being pretty close to each other. At this point, does it go without saying that the Cubs must be better in order to be the favorite? I think that's clear. But what else is clear to me is the Cardinals did get better. The Brewers, as you pointed out to me a couple weekends ago, why are they being positioned in a way less fashion than they should be? So they lost their manager. The manager is really good. We have a lot of data points and anecdotes to tell us that. But what about the composition of their team? So Brandon Woodruff is gone, but everybody else is there, and they replaced Tellez with Rhys Hoskins. So that's odd. Although again, Vegas might be foreshadowing a Burns
Vegas is
trade.
than us.
Adames, yeah. The Reds made additions and have an impressive young core. I like what you said about them. And the Pirates added. So in order to get past the Cardinals in the books, other things need to happen. At this point, we're all teetering on assumption that it is going to happen. But for right now, it looks good. And I do want to give you, with your permission, the FanDuel win totals. What are your thoughts about that?
May I guess them?
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, no, that's a better idea than the one that I had in mind.
So Cubs.
St. Louis. 80.
Oh, never mind.
85.5.
That's correct.
Chicago. 83.5.
That's correct.
Go Cubs.
Cincy. 81.5.
82.5.
Okay. Milwaukee, 80.5.
78.5. That's big news.
No, but it's good news because these guys are smart. They want people like you and I to go, that's way too low.
Hammer the over.
Yeah, hammer the over. And then they're just sitting there. They're sitting there at the Mirage just counting money, man. Just counting money. And then I'm going to have Pittsburgh at 73.5.
74.5.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's
Nice
close.
job. Nice job.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
But as you said on Wednesday's show, it's a mediocre division.
Oh, at
85.5 is the favorite.
Well, I think
that's brutal.
I think mediocre almost would be putting it kindly. The only reason
Really? How would you describe it?
I think it's a bad division. I think it's balanced. I think it has depth, but there's no top-heavy team. Now, the worst division maybe in the history of this game, resides in the American League Central because I don't think the Twins are going to be as good as they were last year. Right. Cleveland's out of money. The Royals aren't very good. Detroit hasn't been good in a long time. And over on 35th and Shields is one of the great organizational travesties going on in the country.
Yeah, it really is.
I believe the Sox over-under is like in the low 60.
You know what? I didn't really even look at many other teams outside the NL Central. All I did was look at Dodgers, which are an incredible.
Don't tell me. Come on. Well, now you
Oh.
say it. Now I know it's in the hundreds. You
An
say
incredible 105.5.
Are you serious?
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Sorry, I'm looking up the Sox win total. 63.5. Oh, geez. The Rockies are at 60.5. We see
That's
them
horrible.
early in the campaign. Oakland, it's 57.5, and they're, they might not get 57.5 people at their games. 105.5, man, you could never bet that. I don't care how good you're supposed to be. You can't bet on a major league team winning 106 games. It's too hard.
That's what I thought.
It's too hard.
Especially in that division, no?
It's too hard.
Let's start going around the league. Who's the NL favorite? MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year,
All right, cool.
and Manager of the Year. We do that next. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle, level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one car, you always find exactly what you're looking for. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. We're back here on Locked On Cubs.
Let me guess these, man.
And I have the top 7 favorites for the NL pennant, Sam, in front of me.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if I could do 7 players. Okay, top 7.
Yeah.
NL pennants, Los Angeles Dodgers.
And
Atlanta,
it's 7 for a reason. That might be a clue.
Well, so the Cubs are 7th. Los Angeles Dodgers.
Right.
Atlanta Braves 2. Philly 3.
Right.
Okay, I don't know. Oh, jeez. Boy, 7. Arizona 4? No. Is that right?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm missing somebody big. I said Atlanta, the Dodgers, the Phillies, not the Mets, not the Padres. I don't know. I'll just say Arizona. I'll say Arizona, St. Louis, Chicago, and the Mets. I don't know.
Yeah, so you just flip-flop St. Louis and Arizona.
Okay.
And then it's Mets 6, Cubs 7.
Got it.
All right, so for MVP and Cy Young, I only have favorites.
The Mets shouldn't be on there, by the way.
That's crazy. So for the next couple, I only have the favorites, followed by the Cubs that appear.
Okay, cool.
Okay. NL MVP favorite.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's right. Plus 500. And, some comical odds here, but they did make the board. Dansby Swanson, I believe this is plus. There's 3 zeros here. Plus 12,000.
Yeah.
Ian Happ, plus 20,000.
Yeah.
Seiya, same thing. Justin Steele, same thing.
Seiya would be the bet there. 200.
NL Cy Young.
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste too much time here. That's a hard, because last year it was Snell, it was random. Ooh, man, I'm leaning towards 2 guys off the top of my head. I'm thinking Alcantara, or Glass now. Maybe he gets odds. He gets pushed because of the Dodgers. I'll just go with I'll go Alcantara.
Spencer Strider, plus 550.
Oh, of course it's Strider. Jeez. Terrible. Who did I have, second or third?
I don't have that. I don't have that.
Yeah, sorry. What's Steele? Plus
guess Steele.
I don't know.
3 Cubs on here.
Plus 3,000, 2,500.
Here's some great news.
Yeah.
1,600.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. Imanaga's on there, dude.
He is.
We haven't talked much about him.
Yeah, let's do that next week.
Yeah, let's talk about his repertoire and things that he could do to help this club.
Fine.
And then who's the other Cub on there? Is it Tyone?
It is.
What's he at?
Tyone's at 20,000. Imanaga, you want to guess his number?
I'll say he's probably like 100 to 1, so that's what 10,000.
4,000.
Oh, it's not bad. 40 to 1.
They like him.
Yeah, not bad. American League MVP. I'm just curious. Is it Judge or Soto?
I don't have that.
Okay, it's probably Judge.
I'm biased to the NL. So.
I think it's Judge and Soto 1-2. That would be my guess.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I can't believe I missed. Of course, Strider. What a horrible.
How about NL Rookie of the Year?
Ooh, I haven't even thought about that. Is it one of those Reds? Is it like De La Cruz or McLean or something like that?
Dodger.
It's
a trick one.
Oh, is it the pitcher?
Yamamoto. Plus 180.
I don't really consider him a rookie in my head. I didn't have that.
Imanaga plus 1,100. And then there's 3 other Cubs listed.
Bush?
Michael Bush is plus 3,000.
Okay. Imanaga. Morel's not a rookie.
But they have Matt Mervis on here. No, I'm sorry, but that's not credible.
Is PCA on there?
Plus 4,600 for Mervis.
Is PCA on there?
PCA plus 1,800.
Yeah, that's
NL Manager of the Year favorite.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I'm gonna say
this is FanDuel, folks. FanDuel.
Torey Lovello.
Craig Counsell.
Really?
Plus 550, fam.
Go Cubs. Was Lovello on there?
I think so. David Bell, I remember, was second.
David Bell could manage a Wendy's, man.
And finally, the World Series favorite is... I just have the favorite followed by the Cubs number.
The Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers plus 350. And the Cubs... Want to guess the Cubs number?
350 for a baseball team is so insane.
Right.
I will say if they're 350, I will say the Cubs are, so they're 3.5 to 1. I'll say the Cubs are 10. I'll say 1,000, 10 to 1.
Okay. 3,800.
Or 100 to 1, I meant.
3,800, so.
3,800?
Yeah.
So 380 to 1 odds.
Well, that might be reality right now.
We're going to stink.
I do think...
Nah, I'm joking.
PCA, Rookie of the Year, and say MVP would be the ones to zoom in on.
The value bets?
Yeah.
The value bet?
Yeah.
Is there stuff on there prop-wise to like bet
no props
guys
yet.
that are going to be like an all-star or something?
I didn't see that.
Because I think say out of the all-star.
Next month will be stats as well.
I think say out of the all-star team would be where I would lean. I think that's
you called Steele as his number one goal to be an all-star last year around this time.
Yeah, but I also 2-3 years ago didn't think Steele was a starting caliber pitcher.
That's true.
So I wouldn't give myself too much credit.
Gotcha.
But I appreciate it.
All right, coming up next, we close out with...
Are you going out to dinner or something after this? You got like a nice top on.
No, I just kept my... I got home on the later side from work.
Got it.
So, coming up next, how about best and worst of the week on a Thursday?
Sure.
Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Happy Super Bowl. It's next Sunday. To all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. You got the game, you got the food, you got the commercials, you got the halftime show. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W or 2 or even 3. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58 between the Chiefs and the 49ers, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers join today. You'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. Best and worst of the week, as this is at least scheduled right now to be the last episode of the week. Of course, that's pending breaking news, which happened last weekend when the Cubs signed Hector Neris. And we're doing this segment, Sam, for the first time in a while. So
Since Jimmy Carter.
Good to be back into it. As I got to admit, the 2 items I have is, although I didn't strategically do this, it just happens to be just purely self-promotion. Purely self-promotion and celebration. First
Even the
thing
worst?
is,
Even the worst
and
part?
at worst, I have none.
Oh.
I have none because, that's how
You're a happy guy.
that's what I reflected on this week.
You're a breath of positivity.
Thank you. I wanted to tell you, Sam, thank you for doing this show since July of 2022.
So are you quitting?
Podcasting since August of 2020.
Yeah.
And when we took over this YouTube channel, I still remember the number because it was the airplane number, 757. Right?
Oh, interesting you mentioned airplanes.
And today we got over 8,000.
All right.
So that's my best of the week.
8,000 subscribers. The same. Transfer that into money, and that's what Jed wants to pay Bellinger. 8,000.
$8,000 a year.
Yeah.
3-year, $24,000 deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's yours?
Oh, I have a best and a worst.
Okay.
My best is, even though it's the middle of the week for me,
right.
My best is that Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, is it going away
show.
or coming back or something?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you. So it's on HBO Max right now. It's in its 12th and final season. It's over. This will be the last season. Over a 25-year span, this show has been on. Larry David, one of the all-time great show writers of all time. If you don't know, obviously Seinfeld, and now Curb Your Enthusiasm. It started as like a docu-movie in 1999, and here we are in 2024 being wrapped up. One, in my opinion, one of the all-time great comedies. I'll be catching up on that and transitioning right into my worst of the week. I'll be catching up on that probably on the airplane because I haven't told you this off the air, but next week on Thursday, I'll be leaving town to go to Los Angeles.
Oh, you are doing that next week.
Yeah, well, I'll explain to you off the air. It's an off the air conversation. But the worst of the week are the prices.
Yeah, especially if
it is not appropriate. You know, people work really hard, and I'm not going to say what I got to pay or whatever, but let's figure this out as a country. Let's try and get things to be a little bit better because I gotta get Scott Boras as my agent just to fly across the country.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's my best and worst.
All right, very good. Well, it was a good week of shows. Enjoyed it. We will be live in person this Wednesday, February 7th at the Displays Theater. Of course, the link is in the episode description, as well as the link to Unlocked, our subscription podcast. We've really enjoyed doing that. We're 4 episodes in. Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes, and we'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
There is momentum.
There is momentum happening here.